Hey everybody, it's Alexia from amysticspath, back with another pick a card reading for you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. Now, this week's pick a card reading focuses on what message do you need to hear in this moment. So go ahead and take the time to take a couple deep breaths, center yourselves, and pause the video and see what group or groups you feel pulled to while thinking about what message do you need to hear in this moment. And I will see you guys back with your messages. For my group number ones, we have the Ten of Wands, the Queen of Swords, the Six of Wands, the Queen of Swords, the Page of Pentacles, Ogun, and the Moon. Now, what I'm seeing for you guys is I'm seeing that you have a lot on your plate. If it's not all of the responsibilities that you have in the physical, you have a lot on your plate mentally and a lot of what you're dealing with mentally. And I'm feeling it's more of an emotional standpoint for a lot of us. When looking at the Queen of Swords, I really see her as ready to make the decision to kind of go over her memories and her feelings to see where she's at, why she's holding on to them still, and what it is that means for her. But it takes I feel like a sheer amount of discipline to kind of be in a space where you actually act on this instead of reverting back to kind of just masking things and pushing up. I feel like here the Queen of Swords is ready to kind of take a look and take a dive into the things that she is holding on to. He or she, of course, is holding on to. But there's almost like a initial reaction or habit to kind of just mask things and maybe stay busy and kind of just try to make things look like they're kind of put back together momentarily, even though you know it might fall down again. So I'm really seeing, again, more so leaning towards kind of reviewing these things, but that kind of bounce back or that initial reaction is kind of there and in your forefront of your mind. Looking at the Queen of Swords in combination of the Page of Pentacles, I see this as more so as a confirmation or a step for you to kind of open up the curtain and go into uncharted territory that is uncharted for you, to be able to kind of go over, I don't want to say defeat in a way just because of the imagery on the picture of where Ogun is kind of slaying a beast. But again, when we're looking at our mental state or the things that are bothering us or haunting us, we could kind of configure, and a lot of us would call those our inner demons and things like that. So we see this as really confirmation of making that step to go into uncharted territory, into your mind, and see what it is that's still affecting you, to kind of kill it or deal with it, to be able to get out of a place that is filled with emotion and fear or disillusion because of emotion, and you can't really see facts, or the fact that it's not even seeing facts, it's being stuck in this place of being and not being able to escape from your emotions no matter how hard you try, because they're just so thick and heavy. And when we go through to aim to kind of kill what it is that we're hanging on to, or deal with it and get rid of it, we are almost kind of shedding some light, or letting the clouds part so those rays from the moon can't beam down, so our emotions aren't so overfilled and causing us to self-sabotage, or just causing us to be in a place of ignoring things. Okay, so definitely take this message as confirmation to go forth and examine what is truly bothering you, so you can begin to move on and have some light shine back into your reality and what is going on with you and your life. And that is what I'm seeing for my group number ones. For my group number twos, we have the Knight of Pentacles, or the Knave of Pentacles, the Ten of Pentacles, the Knight of Swords, the Ace of Wands, the Emperor, and I hope you guys can see these, the Ace of Air, and Sapanza. And what I'm seeing here is somebody who is really not intensely going after like this vision of what it is that they want. I feel that it is somebody that is kind of staying determined and almost busy on what it is that they want to manifest, no matter what the circumstances are around you at the time. And I see you really wanting to take action on some projects that you have, or some thoughts or some ideas that you can kind of propel or kickstart your your vision coming in, or what it is that you're trying to achieve here. What is your ultimate goal that you want? Maybe it's just the finish and like the end project of what it is that you're currently working on now. But and that's what you're initially trying to bring in. It doesn't have to be like this long scale, but nevertheless, it's somebody that is working on something and they have an intense vision of what it is that they want that to look like. And you have this undying spark of inspiration. And the message for you guys, I'm really seeing that with this, you really want this to be structured and to be very solid and to be very almost durable and like dependable with whatever it is that you're trying to create. I almost feel like you're like, if you're not trying to create, you're trying to achieve. And within this, I feel like taking this time and reviewing what it is that is coming into your mental state and how you want this, this vision to look like, and to really take this time to go within and focus on this. The fact that you're feeling pulled to focus on whether it is something that you're trying to bring into your life or something that you're actually creating, the pull is very intense, because you're supposed to use this time to kind of go within, not necessarily be bouncing ideas off of other people, or necessarily being all out in like really just socializing with people on any scale, whether that's, on social media or not. You're really taking your time, your extra free time that you have, and focusing on what it is that you are trying to create or bring into your life. Okay, and that is the message that I'm having for my group number 2, is the fact that you're feeling this pull, and it is so intense and you just want to take charge on it. Definitely take this time to do that, but make sure you're giving it all of your focus, and it is a dependable, very solid, you're going about it in a solid, structured way. So you're not taking the energy of passion in your ideas and running with it and just, like going wild. You're really kind of taking the time to look at everything authentically and put it together slowly, piece by piece, in a structured way. Again, whether this is you creating something or pulling something in, or just, you're working towards an ultimate goal, whatever it is, that you're making sure that you're putting, all of your energy into it. So again, it's not something that you're just doing quickly or impulsively. Even if the decision might have been impulsive at first, you're ingraining yourself and really pulling away from socializing, with your mom, your friends, whatever it is, and focusing on putting your all into what it is that you are trying to create. Okay, and that is what I'm seeing for my group number 2s. For my group number 3s, we have the Tower, Anubis, which is death, the Ace of Swords, the Fool, the Eight of Pentacles, Undies and Mermaids, and the Seven of Earth. And for my group number 3s, I'm seeing a lot of changes and breakdowns happening for you, that there's been a lot of release going on, and things that you have almost if you didn't necessarily want to be like saying goodbye to some of these things, you feel a very strong pull that some things it's just time to kind of let go of. It might be pieces of you, it might be anger, it might be resentment, whatever it is, there's been breakdowns happening for you. This might be physical breakdowns in your environment with situations with people, or this might even just be not even breakdowns, but breakthroughs in your own psyche to bring you to a place where you are ready and prepared to release what it is that you want to release. And I feel like this has came to you as a message that, you know, it's time for you to let go of these things, whether the breakdown was, you know, again, like I said, a breakthrough in your psyche, or you're having legitimate breakdowns within your environment, that breakdown was actually a message to get to the point for you to be able to release things that are kind of holding you back, because I see you on a new path, and a new path of potential, and a new path in general, with maybe it's with what you're doing, and maybe it's just with the experiences that you have. And I feel like the initial goal to where you're headed is somewhere where you have been trying to go for quite some time, somewhere that you've really been working to get to, but the releasing of what has been kind of trapping you or holding you back, maybe it's people, again, maybe it's feelings, you know, maybe it's resentment, whatever it is that's been holding you back, to keeping you from this place of unlimited potential and freedom and just new opportunities and new things, even though you have been working hard at it. And I see that you have almost been working hard at your position and the position that you are in within this world. And I feel like a lot of this has to do with, maybe it's your confidence level, maybe it's your power, maybe it's coming into the knowingness of who it is that you are, or finally giving yourself credit for the work that you do. And instead of looking at yourself as somebody who is not doing, you know, a good enough job, no matter how good the work comes out, that you're really coming to this place where you know what it is that you're putting out there is good quality. When we're looking at the mermaids and undies card, this person is often described as a doctor or a lawyer, or somebody who is in a communicative space that is very high in their position and very knowledgeable and knows what it is that they are doing, and they've been doing it for a long time. They're looked up to. And it's coming to this space of, you've been working hard to be at this status, and maybe some of the feelings that you have been holding on to, some of the resentment, whatever that is, maybe it's some of the people, maybe they're not as supportive, or, you know, whatever the case may be, that even though you were working to get to this space within you of this knowingness of yourself and how much you know, and it's not like conceited or cocky, it's just knowing your place in the world and who it is that you are through all of the hard work that you have done that nobody can take from you, no matter what that looks like on the outside. I'm not saying on an egotistical way, but you can't be responsible for other people's triggers, and releasing that notion as well will help you get to this space. And I feel like upon really releasing what it is that's holding you back, you will then begin to see a lot of reward that you have been asking for, that you've been seeking for, a lot of things that you've been trying to develop and come into, you know, your reality that have not been ready. They haven't been ripe. This man is literally cutting coconuts off the tree. So to say that a lot of the things that you've been working on will now be ready, that you are now ready, and that a lot of the blessings that you've been asking for or trying to manifest are likely to be ripened now, and to be, you know, are ready to be picked or to fall into your lap. I do see some unexpected things coming in for you because of this, and because of the energy shift of you kind of switching into this new place of being within yourself. And I don't want to say confidence, because it's not confidence, it's really more so a knowingness that is putting you to ultimately being ready to fully dive in onto your path, to being ready to finally do the work that it is that you are trying to do on a large grand scale. But you had to be You have to be in a place of yourself for any of that to have been able to happen. And I feel like this shift, this release is bringing you to that point, okay? Now, this is what I'm seeing for my group number 3s. Now, for my group number 4s, we have the 2 of Cups, the 9 of Cups, the Hermit, the King of Pentacles, the Devil, the 9 of Earth, and the 3 of Fire. And for you, when I'm looking at the 2 of Cups and the 9 of Cups, along with the Hermit, I'm seeing this more so as your mental state, as your mental state is in a place of really being hopeful that things kind of come together and you reach this peak of happiness, even if that is in solidarity. But I feel like you're in a place of solitude right now where you're just kind of hoping that things kind of come together and that you'll kind of be at this place of, even if it's not extreme happiness, it is good enough. It is like, I want to say like status quo. It's almost being what it is that you want on a happiness level. And I see yourself kind of trying to, almost starting with yourself first. Maybe this is acts of self-love and, just making sure that you're drinking a hot cup of tea and like sitting down. I see like this is your almost your mental state, where if you're not kind of taking actions on living in luxury in your outside like space in your home, I'm feeling like you're definitely like coming to that point soon. When looking at the Knight of Pentacles along with the Devil, I see this as being very stern and very like sturdy and very grounded with what it is that you want in the physical and what it is that brings you happiness almost, or that thought, that idea of how you want things to come together and what you want that happiness to look like, that you kind of have, in your mind when you're kind of just, not around anybody, that you've kind of just been like really wanting to put on the forefront and really bring into your reality, that this is something that it's like so intently important to you that you're ready to almost like, you're very defensive of this vision. You're very defensive of what you want your happiness to look like, to the point where if anything that just like gets in your way, you'll literally like destroy it, disintegrate it, burn it up, whatever. Like almost at this effortless like monster energy comes out of anything that would oppose this vision that you are having. Now, the advice within this, I'm seeing when we're looking at the 9 of Earth and the 3 of Fire, we are making sure that we are really planting the seeds for what it is, for the happiness that we want. So part of this is you may already be doing, which I've been feeling like you've been taking more acts of self-care and making what it is that you want a priority, so it kind of almost like reflects outward, so that the same treatment will be again brought to you. I feel like that's kind of where you're at right now, and I feel like continuing to do so and planting those seeds and knowing what it is that you want, and what that happiness looks like, and things coming together looks like for you. So when you're planting those seeds, you can water those things specifically and work on what it is that you want to work on manifesting as in happiness, and what you want almost like complacency to look like, but not being complacent. Like, so maybe complacent isn't the right word, but what you want, what you're happy with, what you want your status quo to be, even if it's not a regular status quo, even if it's high, even if it's like more on the luxury end, that we're putting our focus into manifesting and nurturing and growing the positive things that you want and how you see things coming together and that happiness level that you really want to achieve. And we're focusing on nurturing that instead of focusing on burning up and disintegrating anything that would oppose that. Okay? Not that that type of energy is a bad thing, but you want to work on putting your energy into nurturing and growing something healthy and fruitful and thriving and like lush, like if you're growing like fruit trees or like apples or oranges, that when you bite into the fruit, like that juice is just like squirting everywhere, and then it's just very like luscious and very, very full because it has been grown and it has been nurtured and loved, and all of the properties that it is needed to thrive and survive are good. So you're putting good energy and positive energy and loving energy and tending and taking care of this thing or these images that you want to grow for what it is that you want into your reality, instead of putting your energy into destroying anything that would oppose it. Because if you're putting your energy and focusing your energy into destroying everything that opposes it, you are lacking the nutrition and the ingredients that you need to put into nurturing it, because it's not going to get that level of nurturing because you are distracted. Now, I also want to say, if you are nurturing this vision and nurturing on how you want things to come together and what it is that you want, when a storm comes through, hear me out on this, guys. When a storm comes through, a tree that is strong, that has been taken care of, that has gotten all of its nutrients, its soil's good, its water's good, it's getting watered on time, it's being taken care of, it's being respected, it's being looked at when, its health starts to dwindle, and then you pick up on the nutrients that you're feeding it, and it is, perking back up. When a storm comes through, that storm is not going to be able to destroy that tree. There might be a little bit of damage that happens, but it's nothing too much that can't be salvaged or that can't regrow. But if a storm comes through and you have something that hasn't been properly taken care of and properly nurtured and properly fed and properly watered and properly secured, when that storm comes through, that tree is going to be destroyed. That storm just knocked out that tree because it wasn't built up in a proper way. It wasn't raised in a proper environment for health and strength. So the more that you focus on the bad things that are going to happen, the more and have to be in a place of defense, the more bad things and destruction can ultimately, I don't want to say come in, but destroy that thing, because there's not as much energy and structure and strength into it. So not saying that the same things won't come and try to oppose these trees, because they may be in the same garden. And of course, obviously I'm speaking in metaphor, but the same storm can come and oppose these trees. But that tree that is nurtured and standing in strength and love and just like being heavily rooted because it has had so much nutrients, is going to win the fight 1,000 times over, versus something that has not been taken care of well because the owner was distracted, and now the owner has lost that complete tree. And there's this other one that's standing here, and they were both came from the same pack of seeds. And it really depends on how you take care of things and how you move at going about things. Okay? So really, really take this message into consideration on how it is that you choose to manifest and bring in and call in the happiness and of what you want your life to look like, and the luxury, and how you want people to treat you, because I feel like a lot of that has to do with this, is how people treat you, and how you want them to treat you, and how you want them to love you. And you are very stern in achieving that. So make sure you go about achieving this in a positive way, to where you can really build this up in structure and strength with a lot of compassionate energy, versus being distracted and on the defense, to where it can kind of just crumble and fall to dust in front of you, even though you feel like you're exerting all of this energy. The fact of the matter is, you're still exerting the same amount of energy. How that energy feels to you when you're exerting it makes the difference. Are you exerting it out of desperation, or are you exerting it out of love? No matter the fact, if you're distracted but still trying to defend you're still going to be tired just as much as you would have been if you were tending in the garden and nurturing this tree all day. Either way, you're putting the same amount of energy into what it is that you're trying to manifest. How you use it and the actual energy of that energy. And I know that might sound weird for some of you, but there is a lot of different types of life force energy. Your negativity has, is still energy. Destruction is still energy. Growth is still energy. Positivity is still energy. The type of energy and how it affects what it is that you're trying to build is based on the type of energy that vibration holds. So watch what it is that you're doing and how it is that you're feeling and what type of energy you're putting into what it is that you're trying to create and what it is that you're trying to bring in. Now, this is what I'm seeing for my group number 4. I hope everybody got the clarity that they need and the message that they need. If you feel like you need a reading specifically for yourself, please do not hesitate to contact me. My prices are discounted at this time, and I will love to work with all of you. Everybody have a great day.